Okay, this is today's video review for Thursday, July the 9th, 2015 for Drummond Energy Bands. Please read our trading disclaimer. We're going to start out looking at the daily chart for the very simple reason that all of the trading chart patterns that we're discussing in these YouTube videos for today's video review are fractal in nature, meaning each and every one of those patterns happen on all chart frames, whether it's a yearly chart or it's a 600 tick chart. We're looking at the daily today. Let's discuss a couple of those patterns now. When you consider these green lines with the green up arrows being support, you'll notice how the market did actually rally up from them here and of course here. And there was some energy being pushed up out of these lines as here as well, but then you'll notice how this green line here was unable to push up there. So what ends up happening is this is support turning into resistance, and this is why we have our down pink arrow pointing at that green line. And this is what's forcing price down lower. It's happening as well at this line as well. As you can see, our green line over here is losing its ability to provide support, both of them. So the very top of this is actually resistance. We're expecting price to be, supported down at these levels here. Let's have a look at some of the intraday charts and see if we can see these patterns developing for today's analysis. We're going to start our analysis off as we do every day looking at two charts. We look at our focus frame for the NQ, this being the 600 tick chart. It's going to be on our left. And then we're going to look at a second chart on the right called our trade chart with our Renko flow bars. You'll notice that we've drawn some horizontal lines on the chart. The green line down here, the green line down here is drawn from earlier in the morning and extended out into the future. You can see that this level had an effect on price down here at about 10:30. But even if you didn't draw that line, we're going to show you another way that a line that got put in at 10:30 provided a trading opportunity. Let's start by looking at, as we normally do, at about 9:30 Eastern on the open. You're going to notice here on our left chart that we've drawn this line here for resistance. This pink line of resistance on the left chart is drawn here on the right chart. You'll notice as price sells off with a red candle, it has difficulty getting down through this white dotted mid, and that pushes up higher. You'll notice that the upper magenta energy band here and here is containing price. When price pushes up again through this energy level of resistance, you notice our dots and our green bars are pushing higher. Unless you're very aggressive and wanting to take that short, we generally wait until a crest is placed here on this trade chart, and as price rallies up into it, it would be on this red bar here that we would look to take a short. So we're using and waiting for this resistance level. And you'll notice that just prior to this challenge to the crest, again, price pushes up from this energy mid. As we come down, the green line drawn here on the left chart is drawn on the right chart, and we slice down through it. We come back on up into this energy mid here, put in our own crest on the right chart. As we're breaking down through this green line, you can see that this white solid line here is presenting some resistance. Too much for you? That's fine. That's one of our trades that takes a little while longer to get on with. But let's look at some very, very simple trades. So let's say you're a very patient trader and you can see this white dotted line here on our left chart. That's our mid energy. Excuse me. This is our mid line. We've drawn this on the right chart here. Price actually hits it to the tick, provides a signal long for us. As we rally up, you'll notice that I've drawn on the left chart this as support and this as support. And I've drawn those two lines here on the right hand chart. Now as we've associated into those lines, as well as this is our midline here, you'll notice that on the red candle we can take a short. And the reason we can is because these green lines of support have turned into resistance. So one of our trades that we do is we wait for the support levels to be broken, and then what we do is we draw them with a pink arrow down to show that support has turned into resistance. So that was another opportunity to get short there. This down pink arrow on the left is the down pink arrow on the right. So as we come down, you'll notice that we've got another arrow. This time this arrow is white. The arrow is at about 947, and if you're patient and you're waiting for this white line to be retraced to, one can take advantage of this trade. This is known as our mid trade, and it got associated, price in other words ticked on that level, and that was another good short. As price fell down, as you can see, it retraced higher up into these two support levels that have turned into resistance. We missed them by a tick, so if you were waiting for those levels to be hit, you probably missed the trade. But on the way up, we had our white dotted line here on the right chart. This is the same white dotted line here on our left chart. That's our mid, and we would be expecting to sell that area, and you'll notice how price does fall back down. Then at about 9:58, just before 10 o'clock, you notice that we have support down here. Price does actually associate with the support, and we get a buy signal up off of it, rallying up again into this two support lines that I've drawn on the right chart in dashed lines with a down pink arrow because support is turned into resistance. This is the area in which we're returning on the left chart, as I'm pointing to. As price rallies up, you can see we have a signal to get short. It comes down into our mid, which does release energy, but you'll notice that the crest here could have been shorted again after that challenge into those levels on the red bar here. So as price sells down through this this green line right here, you can see it on the right chart. We've put the green line on here of support, and price just, all of our trade chart Renko flow bars stayed red and sliced on down through. As price went on down further, you'll notice that it retraced back up to this green line of support drawn for about 10:15. You'll notice on the right chart I've drawn it with a down pink arrow because support has turned into resistance. The trade chart's put in its own crest for another short. That provided to be another good signal short. As we move along, that market finally down at about 10:30. You'll see here at about 10:30 at 43.80, we're starting to get into this green line here that we discussed earlier, and price did bounce up off that. If you're patient and you waited for this support level to be placed in real time, you would draw it and notice that we had a signal to get long off of here, and you have to be careful trading directly into the mids, but you'll notice that it is a very strong level of support, and our dots here as they're coming down, the red, could not push through this line, giving us another opportunity to get long. Price rallied up, as you can see, to this down pink arrow. This is one of our crests from about 10 o'clock of resistance. This price level at approximately 43.97 was at about 11.15. You'll see it drawn here with the down pink arrow on the right chart, was another signal to get short, and that was all the trades up till about 11:30. There's a lot of trades today, but there are a couple of very, very simple key strategies in seeing the intraday patterns that happen on all chart frames. Thank you very much for listening.